What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Reflection Friday. So excited for my guest here today. I got my buddy Dan Guerin out of Cincinnati, who's just crushing it down there in that market right now and stuff. So how's it going, Dan?
Doing real good, real good.
So Dan
Glad
just
to
got
be
back from
here.
vacation last week, so he's all nice and relaxed, and he's
Tan.
ready to go. So
Yeah,
there you
it's
go.
good tan. Yeah.
So awesome. Well, when we do on here on Reflection Friday, basically what we do is I got starting off with one question here, Dan. But what were you doing before you really got into real estate? And then we'll get into a little bit of like how that affected you and really just reflection on really how real estate investing has changed your life. So, man, before you got into real estate, what were you doing? And give us a little bit of that journey.
Right, right. Well, so I got into real estate full time 2.5 years ago. Before that, I was I did some time doing cable disconnects. This was all after the military. I was in the Army from 2003 to 2007. Deployed over to Iraq for a long 16-month deployment. So ended up started out pretty well, then ended up about halfway through, ended up getting injured. I got a Purple Heart. So that kind of set me back a little bit there, but got home, got out. I was actually living outside Toledo, and when I got back from Iraq, I ended up getting on. This is when online stuff first came out. Ended up meeting my wife online when it was like only the dorks meet people online.
That's all right, man. That's how I met my wife too. So we're all good, man.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So I always tell people like it was before I met her online, before it was cool to meet people online.
Yeah.
So
now, granted, you and I are kind of big dorks anyway. So it's all right.
right. It's totally, yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I got out. I was living in Toledo at the time when I was based in Toledo. I was actually living in Alaska when I met her. So we were just talking, and I started getting out. I got out, and I've been in construction before the military of some stretch my entire life. So I got out, started actually working for her uncle down here, doing decks, carpentry, stuff like that. And got out of that, transitioned into another couple little things. And just before I started doing real estate investing, I actually worked for a pool company doing construction. I ran the construction and repair department. And that's what really kind of turned me towards real estate. When it started off, I was there at the beginning of of spinning up that division of the company. It was an established lifeguard company, but they didn't have the construction and repair division, so they needed it to support the rest of the company. So they hired me on, and we did okay. We did what they wanted us to do, but I wasn't happy, and I wasn't happy because the guy that was my boss, he wasn't trying to grow this thing at all. And that's what I found out later, was that's like my thing, is like growing and growth. Like, so, and I tell my wife all the time, like, if I'm not actively moving towards something, like I'm not in a good place. Like I'm not happy. I'm not anything. So anyways, 2 years into that, I'm getting super frustrated. So I go to my boss. I said, listen, it's either him or me. I'm out of here, and it's perfectly fine if that's the case. But I can't be here. And he's like, no, you're not going anywhere. We're gonna get rid of him. So they got rid of him. I took over the division, grew it from 300,000. The year before, when I first took it over, we did 300,000. So the first actual year that I took it over, we did. I took it from 300,000 to 725,000. Second year that I had it, we did 1.25 million, and then the third year I had it, we did 2.15 million. Wow. So it was. I was working my face off, like literally doing absolutely anything you can come up with, but Part of what we did to grow that was we started doing rehabs in bathrooms of pool houses. And I was like, I can do this. So got me into rehab. And then I started getting all these contacts, all these different people. And then I was like, you know what? I can do this on my own. So I can do more than bathrooms because I started doing whole pool houses. And we started doing all sorts of different stuff. Yeah. And then, that's kind of what led me towards getting into real estate.
You're just like, yeah, let's get. I'm gonna do this. What was that conversation like with when you and your wife were making that decision of like, hey, I'm gonna leave this because I've grown this company. I'm doing this now. They're doing awesome, but I'm gonna do my own thing. But this is my passion. This is what I want to do. Like, how did you like get to that point of knowing that was what the right thing for you, and even then having that conversation and like kind of getting down with her?
Yeah. Well, looking back now, it's like, what the heck were we thinking? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like she was doing really well at her job. I was doing really well at mine. I mean, I was frustrated. I was working a lot, but I was making killer money. But the way that we had initially set, so back to in 2007 when we first got married, we had set it up, and I said, listen, like, and I didn't realize it then. I kind of do now, but we set it up then that she would be the stable one. She would be the fixed part to where she was secure, and she put enough faith or trust in me to give me the ability to go out and really take some risks and chances and stuff like that. So we kind of set it up that way from the beginning. And so, it's kind of that same old thing, like even when you're doing any deal, in real estate, when you set that expectation early, it's like, okay, it's time now. And that's what it was. Cause I mean, so I guess the answer is the conversation between me and my wife wasn't that difficult, but the conversation between me and other people are like, you're insane. Like, what are you doing? Like, you make 6 figures. You got a great job, company truck, everything. You got a beautiful house, beautiful family, everything going for you. Why would you take the risk and go do that? And it's like, well,
so how do you look at you look back at that now, like how, so you let that go and you started doing your own thing and stuff. So how has that changed your life? And just like you're reflecting on what real estate investing has done for you, like, what do you say to that now of like looking back of like, it was the right decision, man?
Oh man. I mean, there's no question. I went from working. So in the springtime there, we would work. It was a pool company, and it was a commercial pool company. So in the spring, you don't shut down a pool in the middle of the season. So we would work in the springtime. The most I worked in 1 week was 127 hours. And if you do the math, there's not a whole lot of time left in order to sleep or eat or do anything else. So that was my spring, and then it started to become my fall. So, but now, we're starting to do pretty well down here in Cincinnati, and we're getting to the point where the guys, like last week when I was out on vacation, they didn't even hardly call me. And it's like, we had 3 closings. We bought 1 and sold 2, and then got 3 more under contract. All of those, I'm not even here. So it's like, I'm with my family in the on the beach type thing. And it's like, man, I mean, and we're just getting started, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I can only imagine what's coming, I mean, it's just going to be incredible,
That's awesome. And now I know even talking to you too, and like, you're kind of in that spot too, where you guys are thinking about like, okay, now your wife was the fixture, the one that was the stable one and things like that. Now you're actually thinking about like, hey, how can we relieve her? How can we get her out of our job? Cause you're in that role now. That's what it's provided you to be able to do that. So.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's like I said before, we set her up from the beginning. Hey, and we're pretty traditional, you know what I mean? So like one of my goals, like when we first got married, was like, I don't want you to have to work. Like if you want to work, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but I don't want you to have to work. Mm-hmm. And from day one, we've set everything up that way. And now, like it was actually cool because last year was like, we've been planning for this since 2007. And then I was talking to Jake here, probably 6-8 months ago. I was like, man, this is so weird. Like, we've been talking about this for 13 years now. And like, now it's like finally starting to like be a real conversation. It's not just, hey, yeah, this is what we're going to do at some point in the future. This is like, this is what we're doing now. So, and she's awesome. I mean, I absolutely couldn't do what I'm doing without her.
No,
So yeah.
that's so cool, man. I love to see just how happy it's making you, and you said 2.5 years too. You've been able to do that. So
right.
So I mean, real estate investing is it's such an amazing avenue to be able to, free up some time, and you spend a lot of time doing, real estate investing and things like that. But it's how you spend your time, being able to kind of make up your own schedule and things like that has been one of my favorite things.
I don't know another business that quick in 2.5 years with not a lot of money. I mean, I think, when I had 50 grand in the bank or something like that, you know what I mean? Or, or in savings or whatever. And it's like where you can start with that. And then outside of being, developing some crazy app or something like that. But I don't know another industry that you can do that.
Yeah.
In such a short time.
No, that's so cool. I got one more question before we get out of here today, just because I know, and seeing kind of what you've grown to, and as the business owner, and I know your right-hand man, Jake, down there and stuff, and the relationship you guys have, but what does it mean? You kind of shared a little bit about what real estate investing has done for you, but what does it mean for you to be able to provide for other people that, work on your team and change their lives as well?
Yeah. So that's one of the things I didn't even know you were going to ask that question. We were actually having a conversation last night, and, obviously we all have growing pains of all sorts of different things. And, I get frustrated because I want so bad for people, I want everybody to win. I think we were having a conversation again today, kind of touching back on last night. It's like, I want everybody in this company to just make such a stupid amount of money that like everybody wins. Like, I don't have to be the only one like everybody can win. Like, that's the great thing about this is I got, I got a new acquisitions guy, and so this is his second month on basically where he's kind of like out on his own, doing his own thing. You know what I mean? And he made his commissions and pay and all that was over $10,000, and he's like freaking 2 months in.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if that doesn't get you charged up, it's like, man, I mean, that's freaking exciting.
Yeah. And what was he doing before?
He was a manager at the telephone company here local. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't even anything, but you get the right person, and I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, we're talking about, it's just crazy.
No, it's so cool, and I love your story. I love what you guys are doing. I love you guys as a team and stuff. But it's just it's the little things like that of how real estate investing really can change your life, because you take my first check I got like that. It was like, man, I was like, man, this was like 4 months of me teaching. That's like that's what it equated to. Like, it was crazy what that money was and stuff. So. No, man. Awesome stuff. Thank you so much for joining me, Dan. I really appreciate having you on here and stuff like that. If there's anybody that's kind of on that, I'll give you one last thing here. If there's anybody that's kind of on that fence of like, I don't know if I should try this, or I don't know if I should do this, or I've been thinking about it, reading the books, but I'm just kind of right there on the ledge. What do you have like one little thing that you could do or say to them, just like kind of push them off and just say, hey, you go after, and you can do this?
Well, I mean, I think you can see behind me. I don't know. There's a big sign that says "Figure it out." I mean, there's so much. Here's the problem is with this industry. There's so much involved in it, and there's so many different avenues that you can go, that I think a lot of people just get caught in the weeds of, well, I got to figure this out, and this, and this, and this. As long as you have, some sort of a little. Not safety net, but something figured out. Like, if you got no money in the bank and you need the money to feed your family, probably probably want to wait a little bit. But if not, I mean, dude, if you can just get in and figure it out, like, I mean, the world, it will absolutely open up in ways that you never even knew would be possible. But you can't, it's never going to happen if you don't take the first step, you know? So you have to, you just get involved, even on a small level. Nobody's saying you got to quit your job, but get involved. Go to the local groups, go to the, meet up with you, do some JVing with you guys or us or whatever. It doesn't matter. We'll help. Dude, there's so many people, like when you start getting into the industry, a lot of people say that, a lot of people are very protective of their like space or whatever. Oh no, I'm not telling you anything. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, there's so many people out there that are willing to just be like, yeah, I'll help you out. Yeah, let's go. And we can both make money together.
Oh, that's exactly right. It's good tips right there, man. I really appreciate that. Like I said, appreciate you guys. So thanks a lot for joining me today. And with that, everybody, we will see you next week with another Reflection Friday. Take care.